Welcome to the Cover House Show, your go-to show for anything insurance. I am your host, Benedicta Wuga, also known as the Queen of Insurance. I am thrilled to have you join us today. On this show, we share very insightful success stories, practical tips to help you secure your financial future. Today, I have a guest. Join me in welcoming my guest, Madam Enyonam Cudjoe, a seasoned financial consultant with 3 years experience with Prudential Life Insurance, specifically the Spintex branch. She will share her journey in the insurance career. Viewers, can we welcome Madam Enyonam Cudjoe onto the show? You are welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very excited to be here today.
So let's dig deep into the conversation.
Okay, sure. Let's go.
Can you tell me about your journey into the insurance industry?
Okay, so if I should recall, that should be 2019 when I completed school. I stayed home for, I think, like 2 years. Then an opportunity came through my dad. He spoke about having a financial consultant with Prudential. So he said there was an opportunity there. So I decided to grab it and see the way forward. As I was waiting for my dream job, I decided to take the opportunity and see what it has in stock for me.
So how has the journey been so far?
So far, so good. I would say it has been good. When I started, it was rough, but so far, to the glory of God, I can say I'm getting somewhere gradually.
When you say rough, what do you mean by rough? Maybe some basic things that occurs or some events that occur through your journey.
Okay, so if I say rough, when I started, the insurance penetration in Ghana is just like 2%.
Okay.
And the education level is very low.
Okay.
So you having a conversation with clients and trying to explain trying to win their trust to come on board, it was kind of difficult.
Okay.
So you'd go and people would backlash you. Insurance people are thieves. Insurance people are like this. It was rough. So it took time for me to get their trust before they came on board to actually sign on policies. So that is the rough I'm trying to.
So have you any point in time in your journey thought of quitting the job?
Yes, there have been countless times where I felt this is not for me. Let me go look for my dream job. But I think at a point in my career, I signed a biggest sale that motivated me to keep trying. So once I got that particular sale, I encouraged myself and I said, yes, I think this will work. So let me give it more push.
So for those people out there who are still contemplating about the insurance sales career, I think this part of the story is something you really need to pay attention to. So what's the most challenging part of your job or your career?
So the most challenging in the cycle, I would say, is you winning the trust of the client to actually come on board. So when you have your product knowledge, you have your I don't know how to put it, but the most challenging thing is winning the trust of people. It's very challenging. Looking at our educational level in the insurance, it's so challenging that sometimes you have to keep going, you have to keep following up, keep explaining, you have to keep calling the client. It's not easy, but that particular gap of winning the trust of the client, that is the most challenging, I would say, in the job.
As a top performing sales executive or a financial consultant, as you are often called, what do you do specifically, or what are some of the things you do to win the trust of your customers?
Okay, I would say when clients reach out to me for their policy servicing, I try as much as possible to get it done for them in the quickest possible time so that I can win their trust more. And also I try to engage them even after the sale. I don't just zoom them out like just clients. They become more like friends and family. On their birthdays, I wish them. Sometimes when they have programs, if I'm able to attend, I do. And I also surprise them with souvenirs at a point.
So if I get Madam Enyonam right, to build trust with your customers, you need to create a relationship with them beyond a financial consultant or an agent to a customer. So building trust, you need to build that relationship, if that's right, Madam.
Yes, please.
Secondly, she attends their events, so she becomes part of their social events. And thirdly, she surprises them with gifts. Is that right, Madam?
Yes, I do. I go beyond the sale, the commission, or whatever, and out of my own pocket, I try to surprise them. Sometimes it's just something little, but they really value it. You may never know
So
what
can
it is.
you give us an example of some of the gifts you have given a client? Because there's a financial consultant or agent out there who, like me, I feel when I give my customer a handkerchief, the customer will not appreciate it. But so I don't do it at all. However, I think with your explanation is something that I personally will want to try. So can you give me an example of some gifts you have shared with customers and maybe the financial consultant or agents out there can learn from it?
Okay, so an example is a branded calendar.
From your company?
Yes, from my company.
Oh,
So
sure.
once the person is in the office, there are sticky notes on the calendar. The person can use it to make notes. Then
Okay.
you have the branded pen also.
Okay.
We have the Bluetooth speaker. In the office, the person wants to maybe a cozy time. The person can use the Bluetooth speaker to listen to music. And I think a laptop bag. They're all branded. So things that I think would be acceptable in every possible way. It wouldn't be like
Like everybody, whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim,
yeah, it
you are
wouldn't be
an
something.
atheist, anything,
Yeah,
anybody can
yes.
accept.
Or
Okay.
like you would go get a spray that maybe the person is not,
Doesn't like those type
that's
of
scent.
spray.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So as a lady in the sales industry, and I've been in this industry for 10 years, and I know what goes in, especially for female sales executives. I know some clients who want to have carnal knowledge of you. They will propose to you before they buy the policy and all those stuffs. And sometimes I say a client is buying a premium of 100 Ghana cedis and he'll ask you, meet me at the movie house. That's me, that's my experience. Have you ever had such experience before?
Countless, I would say. I've
It's
had that.
funny, right?
So that's how I go about it.
Okay.
So when such proposals come in, you see, I want to go beyond the business. The person becomes my friend, and even in the future, the person becomes more sticks more than a client. So I try my possible best to play around it sometimes. Just
When
to,
you mean you play around it, what specifically are you talking about?
okay, so an example, maybe I'm going to sign a client on and he says, "Oh, I like you. I want to marry you." And I say, "Oh, me too. I like you too. We can get married." Like just when you put the person in that space, the person becomes more comfortable. Like you're able to joke around with the thing. But when the person comes with that and you also go aggressively, "I'm not interested in that. I came straight for business." Sometimes the person is just trying to tease you. You may never know.
Some of them are actually married,
Yeah,
so they
so
just want to play with you.
you
So you
see
just,
that.
but you just, do you set boundaries? Maybe
Yes,
when
I
the
do.
person is going too overboard, like a customer calling you at 12 midnight and all that. So
Yes, I do. So playing around it also, you have to use a certain intelligence. So that as at the time you are playing around, the person you go round back to the business. As you are going around it, you go back to the business because that is the main reason why
main
you are
reason why
there.
you are there.
So aside the person doing all that, you need to have it behind your mind that I'm here for business. I'm here for business. So as you are playing around it, just have it behind your mind that I am here for the business. So calling me at 12 a.m. if I'm able to pick up, if I'm not able, I'll return the call the following morning.
Okay. So as a top sales agent, I believe you have a lot of customers. or
Oh,
clients who are on your books. What is a typical day for you? Your
ah.
typical work day schedule? I know salespeople, we don't do 8 to 5, but on your typical day, how do you go about your business?
Okay, on a typical day, I will do the basic, which is the prospecting, because without the prospecting basket, I wouldn't get appointments to book, then to get to the closed cases. So on a typical day, I will do prospecting in my environment, or maybe where a particular point where I've sold before, I go to the other environs, the other closed office. Maybe I check on one particular client and existing clients, then I ask for referrals, then I go to the other companies. Or even within the same organization, I can have other referrals from the clients. So after prospecting, if I have other appointments, I honor them, then I make sure to at least close a business a day.
When you say prospecting, because for the novice or someone who is interested to join you, maybe based on your story, the person will be inspired. When you say prospecting, because I know insurance people, they walk around, and the truth is we call them Sun City.
Oh,
They walk all over the place and everywhere. So for me, my fear might be that walking around the streets. I don't want to walk around the streets. So when you say prospecting, what is the meaning of prospecting?
okay.
Or
So
what do you what do you do in the prospecting process?
okay, so when I say prospecting, it's not as you are saying, like Sun City, just walking in the environment, like you don't have anywhere to go, you're just roaming.
Okay.
So you pick an organization, assuming you are working around industrial area.
Okay.
You have cowbell, you have the snit,
There's
so you
Duraplast
there's
and
Duraplast. So you pick one company,
okay.
then you make friends with the security or the entry point.
The
Once the
receptionist.
receptionist, once you enter, make sure you don't come out. So the prospecting starts from there. You talk to people, you introduce yourself that this is what you do. Then you start talking to them. If from the receptionist you can ask to see the human resource manager, which maybe they'll ask you to come with a letter. But before you leave the organization, make sure you have at least one contact from them, so that the next time when you are coming, you can access the place through that person.
Okay.
So that is what I mean by not just working like you're in industrial area, you just walk to maybe a fitting shop, a tailoring shop. Like there's no plan. So you need to have an organization.
Okay.
You decide, oh, today I'm going to this particular organization. I'm going to this particular organization. I'm going to speak to 5 or 10 people there. You prospect. Now, a prospect there's a difference between a prospect and a contact.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that, ma'am?
Okay, so a prospect is someone who is willing and able to buy your policy. A
Okay.
contact is someone you just met, you've not explained anything to them, you just told the person. Maybe the person is in a hurry, so you just took the contact and you talk later. But the prospect, you've gone beyond taking the telephone number and you've had a conversation, maybe just a 2 minutes or 5 minutes conversation with the person. You've
Okay.
introduced yourself, you told the person, this is what I do.
Okay.
Then the person tells you, oh, which products do you have? Then you know the person is willing. Then the able sometimes will come during the appointment when you have the inside discussion about the policy.
Okay.
So that's the difference between a prospect and a contact.
Okay. 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 So from the prospecting, where do you go next?
So from the prospecting, then you make sure you book appointments.
Okay.
Yes.
With the customer.
With the customers.
Okay.
So after prospecting, you see this person is willing and able to buy.
Okay.
Maybe at that particular time the person is busy or something. So maybe you can reschedule and say, maybe can I come within, maybe in the same week, maybe on a different day.
Okay.
But make sure you set the time. Because if you don't set the time and the client does, the tendency for the client to keep changing the time is very high. So
Okay.
when you stand your ground and, oh, hello sir, please, can I come on Wednesday at 10 a.m.? Then maybe he will say 10 a.m. won't be good. Let's do it 11. But if you leave it open, he can tell you come in the afternoon, which afternoon can mean anytime. He can tell you come later in the day, which can also mean anytime. But when you have a proper time, you know also how to book your appointment and go about your day so that you don't also waste money about it.
That's true, because personally, I often advise when booking appointments, give 2 dates. So can I come Wednesday 10 a.m. or Friday 2 p.m.? Now it gives the client option, two options to choose
Yeah.
from. So if 10 a.m. Wednesday is not okay, then he'll give you the Friday 2 p.m. or
Sure.
a time that is suitable. So I'm happy you mentioned this about appointment. So from the appointment stage, you move to where?
Closing
The
of the
closing of
sale.
the sale. So I know in the closing of the sales, there are objections.
Yeah.
You have clients raise objections. So how do you handle objections? Your earlier statement, you said there is less penetration in the industry,
Yeah.
if I can recall. And you also stated that that's one of your most challenging parts of the job for you,
Yeah.
right? So when you go for the appointment and the client raise objections, how do you handle those objections?
Okay, so the objections are in different shades. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So it depends on the kind of objection that is actually coming to me.
Okay.
But mostly after the sale, when I get the first objection, I ask myself, did I do the right sale? Did I sell well? Or I missold? So then I'll throw the question back to the client.
Okay.
Did I sell well? Or is there any point in the conversation that you didn't understand? Is there a gap somewhere that we need to bridge? Or is it because of financial difficulties? So you need to ask questions. After the objection is being brought, you don't just call back into yourself and say, oh, it's like that is the end. So you need to also push to ask questions from the client to know what exactly. When you ask questions, that is when you know what exactly is behind those objections.
For your clients, when you go to them and they ask you, I'll come back, what is the maximum time ever since you joined Prudential? What is the maximum time before they bought the policy? So I hear some people, it takes like 5 years, 10 years, and could before a client to sign up to the policy. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Yes, that's very true. Even this current month, this November, I've been able to sign a client who I spoke with. If I shouldn't be mistaken, that was last year February.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's exactly a year and some months. He's now signing on the policy. He actually gave me the details up to a point. Then he said, I'll give you the rest. Then that was it. Every time you call is one excuse after the other. So there are such instances like that. There are instances where also when you get to the client, you get a business upfront.
Okay.
Those kind of businesses, I would say I'm really scared because it doesn't really last in the books. But when the client also gives you that kind of tough time, at least you know he understands what he's buying now, so it's going to last in the books. So for the objections, as you said, it does come. Then the person signing on later on is also it happens a lot. It does happen a lot.
So does it discourage you to quit the job?
No.
Because some people can't stand rejection. I'm asking this because some financial consultants or agents can't stand rejection. So when a client turns them down, like you're saying, then it's appeared to be like the customer don't want to buy or the job is difficult.
Okay, so I would say some clients just do that to also see if you are serious about what you are doing or you know what you are doing.
Okay.
There are clients who
That's
also
good.
put you to the test. Yeah, there are clients who also do that. And there are clients who are not interested today but will be interested
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Maybe there are some challenges,
Yes.
financial
So
challenges.
you don't just, as I said earlier, you don't just call back into yourself and just zoom out, because the more you keep prospecting, you add on to your prospecting basket, and some old prospects would now have changed jobs. They would have now their income would have increased. So you need to keep that basket so that once in a while you keep following up on them and you surely get a business at a point.
In wrapping up, what advice will you give the younger generation out there or people who have a certain perception about insurance sales? Because most people out there feel you earn 300 cedis, 500 cedis, and etc. But based on this story you just shared with me, I think you are earning quite well.
Yes.
So what advice will you give to those people out there?
The advice I would give to the younger generation out there is, when an opportunity comes to you, take it. You may never know what that opportunity entails,
Okay.
or where that opportunity is going to lead you.
Okay.
So, if I should sit down and count way back to when I completed SHS, when the opportunity came, I think I didn't really give a thought about. I just wanted to do something because I've been home
When you
for 2 years.
completed university?
Yeah, when I completed
Okay.
university.
Okay.
I just wanted to do, because I had stayed home for like 2 years. When I started, although it was tough, I decided to keep pushing, because you may never know. This job actually helps me build my network.
Okay.
I meet a lot of people. Today I can make calls if I want this person. Because of the institutions I've been to,
Okay.
there are certain connections I have there. If I need something, I can make a call to them. But if I should have called and said, or maybe insurance is not
No
my
time.
my thing, like a degree, or like I'm just over the roof for myself, I think I would have missed a lot of opportunities. This job has really exposed me to a lot of things. And also, in public speaking, I'm a type who, if you don't talk to me, I'll also be
That
there
means
in the
you're a
room.
phlegmatic.
Yeah, you should say.
Okay.
I'm a phlegmatic. But this job, when people see me and say I'm a choleric, which I am not, but because of this job, you say I'm preaching the gospel of insurance. So
Wow.
because of that, I need to come out of myself and become the better version of who I can be.
This brings me to my final question. So what do you want your colleagues or your clients or the younger ones out there, what do you want them to remember you for?
My clients, maybe I would like to rephrase your question.
Okay.
What would they remember me for?
Okay. What will your clients remember you for? So we are going to put it out there. Clients, what will you remember Madam Enyonam Cudjoe for?
Okay, so my clients, I think I get that this feedback, or should I call it a feedback,
Okay.
or um, what's the word?
Compliment.
A compliment from
Okay.
them. So whenever I explain the policies to them, they tell me that, hey, it's like other people are not able to convince me. What do you say? That's like one way they say that, like, I'm able to convince them. Other people come from other insurance companies, but they don't even give them the listening ear. But when I come, the way I take my time to explain the policies to them, they tell me, say, Manuel, they indirectly is a compliment, and they give me the listening ear. And for my colleagues, I know they will remember me for my two other paddies. I don't want to mention their names. They know themselves if they are watching this. So whenever we enter an organization, they're always pushing me like this. And will be the one to do the talking, because I'll take my time and I'll explain. And at a point, they get to know, after saying this, so this is the next thing I'm going to say. And will say this. So anytime we enter a place, it's like they're all looking for me to start a conversation before. So I think
I believe your employer is really doing a good job with training, because the way you are answering even my questions has really taught me a lot. I've learned a lot from you today. So I think we need to give a shout out to your company.
oh,
Thank you, Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, for giving Enyonam this splendid training. So, Madam Enyonam, I believe my viewers will want to contact you in case if they need some insurance advice.
Okay.
And before we came on set, you told me also that you are recruiting financial consultants. Is that true? Is that correct?
That's very true.
So how can you be contacted?
Okay, so on the call number +233 247 200 154. I'll take it again. For the call number +233 247 200 154. And on WhatsApp is +233 57611 4924.
For my viewers, we'll leave the contact below for you, so you pick the number to call Madam Enyonam Cudjoe. And for her to be a seasoned financial consultant, I believe she has lots of staffs to tell you, and she's going to explain the policy to you, to your understanding. I would like to thank Madam Enyonam Cudjoe for joining me today on the Cover House show.
Thank you also for having me.
All right, I'd like to give a big shout out to Ash Home Ghana, specifically the Atlantic Mall branch, for giving us this beautiful setup to have our video. Thank you, we appreciate this. To my viewers, you are the best people I can have. Thank you for watching us. Until next time, I am your girl, Benedicta Wuga, also known as the Queen of Insurance. Stay blessed and stay insured.